Climate change is going to impact all of us.
It's a global crisis.
Climate change is one of the biggest threats we face as a society.
Whether it is through temperature rise, mass migration, a lack of available fresh water.
When we connect the dots, climate change is a lot more closer to us than we may think.
Climate change is going to impact my role and your role significantly. One of the key issues in the near future will be the availability of resources, of ingredients we use to produce the food we sell.
I'm committed to do what we can to protect our planet for future generations. Nestlé will be a leader on this journey.
We must act because we only have one Earth, and future generations are relying on us to protect it.
Our actions now will affect the kind of planet our children will live in.
Because our future is at stake.
My name is Rob Cameron, Global Head of Public Affairs and Sustainability, and I'm delighted to be your host today. We have various speakers joining us from all over the world. We have experts, we have senior leaders, we have colleagues from the Nestlé family, all united towards the same goal, protecting our planet for future generations. So we've heard from Edmé, Gun, Ali, and from our CEO Mark Schneider on why we all need to act. But let's take a step back. What is climate change? Why is the world warming up? Climate is different from weather. When we talk about the Earth's climate, we're referring to average weather conditions over a period of time. Weather, on the other hand, is the day-to-day expression of the climate. It refers to what you see and feel outside. Is it a sunny day, rainy day, windy day? Now, the best scientific evidence we have shows that the world is rapidly heating. This means that we see an increase in the extreme weather events that we've observed over recent years. The Earth's average temperature has been about 15 degrees Celsius. It has been higher, it has been lower in the past. There are always natural fluctuations in the climate. But scientists say now that temperatures are rising faster than at any time that we know of, and the planet cannot adapt. As the world's largest food and beverage company, we rely on nature, and nature is under threat. Why? What happened?
Have you ever thought about the impact climate change has on the food that you eat? The current food and agriculture system is being impacted, but it is also the problem and the solution to it, and we'll tell you why.
Indeed, for example, Côte d'Ivoire, where we source most of our cocoa from, is currently in a tropical climate zone. By 2050, it would evolve to an arid zone, similar to Nigeria today, meaning that extreme heat events will increase and precipitation will increase during the rainy seasons with drought during the dry season. The change between wet and dry will drive stronger floods and droughts, altogether affecting the optimum conditions needed to grow cocoa. It's like having the winter and the summer, and vice versa. Back in 2003, I was doing my master in Nebraska in the US. The state was known to be the corn state, meaning where most of the corn and wheat is grown in the country. Now, if you look at some of the UN statistics, my corn state will actually lose half of its wheat production by 2050 because of increasing temperatures. I also worked in India, same thing. 1/3 of the rice in India is forecasted to be gone, and 1/5 of the milk in Australia, same.
This is quite alarming, and I'm afraid the impacts don't just stop there. Different growing seasons and changes in production locations will also cause high volatility on the coffee market, for example.
Let's not forget that the current food and agriculture system has a huge impact on climate change. In fact, agriculture is the biggest way humans are impacting landscapes.
Over the centuries, we have unleashed carbon from the soil through heavy tillage, deforestation, and using pesticides.
We are highly dependent on just a few major crops. In fact, wheat, corn, and rice make up 60% of human diet.
This is a threat to nature. Harvesting the same crops repeatedly depletes the nutrients in the soil and intensifies the release of greenhouse gases.
This is also a threat to food security and world hunger. Relying on an homogeneous food basket makes agriculture more vulnerable to severe events like droughts and disease. This will be exacerbated with climate change.
Our food production and consumption system is wasteful. 1/3 of all food produced for human consumption is wasted every year. That is a waste of water, land, energy, and soil use, and it increases greenhouse gas emissions even more.
Food systems have not been designed to adapt to major disruptions or preempt them. We must radically rethink the future of food and agriculture because it can be our solution to climate change. The mission is straightforward. We need to diversify and regenerate the agricultural system.
Thanks, Benjamin and Margot. Now let's talk for a moment about how we at Nestlé can transform the food system. A company of our size clearly has so much impact, and we can turn that to a positive when it comes to climate change. There are many ways in which we can act. Let's start first of all with trees. Firstly, we have to end deforestation, and that we will do by the end of 2022. But at the same time, also, we're making a commitment on reforestation. We know that trees are one of the best ways of getting carbon out of the atmosphere, but that's not all they do. They are wonderful habitats to improve biodiversity, and that in itself has corresponding benefits in terms of water retention. When we look at the farm side of things, there is regenerative agriculture. Regenerative agricultural practices can make a huge impact on improving biodiversity, but also making a difference on climate change, because the soil can actually store carbon within it. So if we use more organic fertilizers, if we use regenerative practices like low tillage agriculture or cover crops, we can make a massive difference in helping the soil itself not only to become a better home for biodiversity, but also make a difference on climate change. And then we think about our menus, the foods we sell, moving to more plant-based offerings and lower carbon choices for consumers. And what about the manufacturing? We're moving to renewable electricity just as fast as we can, and all of our facilities, whether it's manufacturing or whether it's offices, will all be run on renewable, green electricity by 2025. We want to be participating in how the food system changes over the coming decades, and that's about the future. But we're not starting from scratch. There's a lot that we've already done. Here's Magdi Batato, Head of Operations, to tell us more.
You may remember that in September of last year, we made a commitment to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. It won't be easy and will require collaboration with suppliers, customers, governments, and non-governmental organizations. The good news is that our commitment builds on a decade of hard work. We have already demonstrated that we have the technology, the size, and the scale to tackle the climate change problem. Just to give you a sense of what we have already done. Imagine how many greenhouse gases 1.2 million cars emit. That is how much our reduction amounts to since 2014. We work with our farmers on actively managing and restoring soils and planting more trees, which will naturally remove CO2 from the atmosphere if properly preserved. Already, 1/3 of our factories is powered by 100% renewable energy, and we are on a roll to get them all up to speed. Currently, 85% of the key agriculture raw materials we buy, like palm oil and soy, were verified deforestation-free. That figure will exceed 90% by the end of 2020. We will continue to work with smallholder farmers and large suppliers alike to be close to 100% within the next 2 years. We are responding to a market demand for more plant-based protein options that are both better for you as a consumer and better for the planet. 66% of our plastic packaging is already recyclable or reusable, and our Institute for Packaging Science will allow us to accelerate the development of functional and safe packaging solutions that have a lower carbon footprint. We now need to accelerate our efforts. I am proud to announce that today we are launching Nestlé's Net Zero Roadmap to cut our greenhouse gas emissions by 50% by 2030 and reach net zero no later than 2050. We will use our size and scale as a force for good, changing how we source, produce, and deliver our products. We will help 500,000 farmers embrace regenerative agriculture, switch to 100% renewable electricity, and use the power of our brands to inspire change. We will champion regeneration. Antonia and Margot, over to you now to explain to us how.
We are excited today to walk you through our net zero roadmap, our journey to net zero by 2050.
But first, let's have a look at the sources of emissions in our business. They range from agriculture, the largest contributor to our greenhouse gas emissions, through to manufacturing, packaging, logistics to our customers and consumers. To get to net zero, we must reduce the impact of all our business activities and take action throughout our value chain, from farm to store. Ultimately, we must offset any remaining emissions.
We are the largest food and beverage company in the world, and as such, you can imagine the amount of carbon dioxide emitted every year across our value chain. In 2018, we calculated it was 92 million tons. It's a big number, which means we have a great opportunity to remove a lot of carbon dioxide from our planet. That's why our role is key.
Our approach can be visualized as one road with two sides. On one side is the corporate journey we must take, and on the other side is the brand journey.
Our brands have the power to inspire change. Our consumers need to see how Nestlé products contribute to a better planet. We want our consumers to feel like they are contributing to a better planet by making choices and buying our products.
So, let's have a look at the milestones along this journey, this roadmap. By 2022, we will end deforestation for key supply chains. We will switch our global fleet of 30,000 vehicles to lower emission cars.
As for the brands, Nespresso, Nestlé Waters International brands, Garden Gourmet and Garden of Life will become carbon neutral.
By 2023, we will switch to 100% certified sustainable palm oil.
By 2025, our full waters business will achieve carbon neutrality, and Sweet Earth will also be carbon neutral. We will switch to 100% renewable electricity for all 800 Nestlé sites.
We will make 100% of our packaging recyclable or reusable, and cut virgin plastic in our packaging by a third as we move to food-grade recycled plastic. We will make 20% of product volume in key categories with a smaller environmental footprint.
By 2030, we will source 50% of our ingredients using regenerative agriculture. We will have planted 200 million trees, meaning 20 million every year for 10 years, and use more renewable thermal energy in our manufacturing. So, in a nutshell, in the next 5 years, we will set a course for net zero with incremental efficiency improvements, investing in regenerative agriculture, manufacturing and packaging, just to name a few. By doing so, we'll reduce our greenhouse gas emissions by 20%.
From 2025 to 2030, we will continue to invest and find ways to lower our impact by making the most of new technology and exploring fundamental changes to our products and businesses. By doing so, we will halve our greenhouse gas emissions.
You may ask, what about 2030 onwards? We will continue to reduce and neutralize all remaining emissions while driving technology and innovation.
We don't have all the answers now. To achieve our goals, we will harness diverse perspectives and act together.
At Nestlé, we have been working on this plan for quite a long time. We're building on all the great work that comes before us.
We have seen the passion, the commitment, and the energy of all our colleagues across the world. Let's change for climate.
Thanks, Margot and Antonia. Well, look, we won't achieve that without the outstanding work of incredible Nestlé people across the world. If you close your eyes, spin the globe, and stop randomly somewhere, you'll always find a great story from our passionate colleagues. So let's hear from some of these amazing people that are helping to bring our roadmap to life.
My name is Ashley Jackson, and I'm a regional environmental specialist supporting our beverage factory here in Anderson, Indiana. We make favorites like Nesquik, Coffee Mate, and now Starbucks Creamer. At this factory alone, we've been able to maintain our landfill-free policy, which has diverted over 7,000 tons of trash from going to the landfill. And since our 2010 baseline, we've been able to reduce our water consumption by 35%. That means over the last decade, we prevented ourselves from filling over 400 Olympic-sized swimming pools of water. And lastly, I am making a difference by collaborating to make our beverage bottles 100% recyclable. Our efforts in the factory allow our brands to deliver on our sustainability promise.
Olá, eu sou a Bárbara Solero, eu faço parte do time de Milk Sourcing da Nestlé aqui no Brasil e atualmente eu sou gerente da área de desenvolvimento do fornecedor e qualidade. Então, o meu trabalho é criar e gerir iniciativas e programas que promovam o desenvolvimento rural de forma cada vez mais sustentável. É muito gratificante ver a evolução das fazendas e dos produtores através dos nossos programas. Esse tema de mudanças climáticas, ele me afeta, obviamente, de forma pessoal, porque como mãe de um garoto de 4 anos, saber que o meu trabalho está contribuindo para um futuro melhor e mais saudável para ele, faz com que tudo tenha ainda mais sentido e que eu acorde todos os dias motivada a seguir fazendo a diferença.
My name is Tatrit Gunason. I have been with Nestlé for 21 years. Now I'm the head of agricultural services in Thailand. I work closely with farmers and local authorities to ensure we get the best raw materials for our products. At the same time, what I do helps improving the lives of the farmers we work with. When we talk about greenhouse gas emissions, we may think of industrial section, but in reality, agriculture is the key contributor to this issue. As the biggest food and beverages company in the world, we have to work across the value chain to ensure we minimize our negative impacts on the climate. Farmers can reduce the impact their farming on the environment. Instead of being the part of the problem, they can be the important part of the solution.
Hi, I'm Issa Sanogo. I'm the business unit controller for culinary based in Accra for the Central and Western Africa region. And I'm ensuring that we have a sustainable growth, ensuring that we are improving the margin and supporting the various innovation and renovation projects. We have many of them. As Nestlé employee, the project which is helping to tackle the challenge of climate change and deforestation on the western part of Côte d'Ivoire is the Cavalli one. It's an important one. It's trying to protect a rainforest, a big one, which is under destruction by timber exploitation and by agriculture. Protect this forest, try to make reforestation to rebuild it. I'm more than proud.
My name is Ilaria Lenzi, and I'm the Sustainability Content and Engagement Lead for Nestlé Waters Italy. I do the best job ever as I support our brands in embedding sustainability in their common good purpose, empowering them to fully deploy their potential as a force for good. Since a couple of months, we have started a new exciting adventure as our international brands Acquapanna and San Pellegrino, and also our local champion Levissima, have started their carbon neutrality journey. Becoming carbon neutral means involving your whole value chain. You will need to act on packaging, on logistics, on factories, on suppliers, on territories and local communities to identify the steps to remove the emissions ton by ton. Secondly, don't consider this project a top-up to your brand proposition. Find your own way to become carbon neutral, leveraging on the greatness of your brand. Last but not least, think to carbon neutrality as a great opportunity to make everyone proud of being part of a company that is concretely contributing to a low-carbon world.
My name is Grandpa Paddock, and I'm Garden of Life's first employee fully dedicated to sustainability. We are committed to certification by the year 2022, which means we've got a lot of work to do. When I joined Garden of Life, we were already leaders in sustainability. We've been offsetting all of our energy use with wind credits and have been certified by Green East since 2006. We were the #1 brand in the world for certified organic and non-GMO verified products. We were not only B Corp certified, but won an award last year as Best for the World. So, it seemed like carbon neutral certification would be a natural, maybe even easy next step. The thing is, our supply chain is super complicated. We don't manufacture even one of our own products, and we use small, organic, family farms all over the world. We needed to find an approach that would allow us to efficiently map our complicated supply chain and grow with us as we grow. My first job was to help us choose our approach to certification. We have an innovative database-driven approach that's being pioneered by a company called Sustainabase. They are working with us to completely map our carbon footprint inside of this dynamic database that we will maintain and expand for the years to come. You know, it's amazing to me that even at an entry level into the business, I can have a role that will be good for the company and good for the world. I can actually make a difference with my work, and that is so satisfying.
I have the privilege of being part of Nestlé for over 40 years now, in many different countries. And I have seen so many things, and I've met so many people and so many farmers. Water scarcity, weather patterns, and climate change are some of their biggest challenges. They are also ours. I have also seen impressive innovation at Nestlé. Me personally, our board of directors, the executive board, and all of you, we all will make this happen. Thank you. And back to you, Mark.
We cannot do this alone. We need everyone's help. We don't have all the answers, so we'll listen and learn on our journey, harnessing diverse perspectives and working with others. Together, we can change tomorrow, today. A company of our size, with our skills, passion and motivation, can make a big difference. Together, we can act as a true force for good.
Each and every one of us has a role to play when it comes to mitigating climate change.
I am working on strategies to bring Nestlé's climate commitment to life through our brands. We have an exciting opportunity as the world's largest food company to bring consumers along this journey.
I've been fortunate enough to be heavily involved with sustainable packaging. From the upstream in design and development to reducing impact in the production.
Being a marketeer myself, a straightforward example could be thinking about the positive impact your product is going to have before launching it. Be ambitious and be bold. Think regenerative. There are plenty of ways to get involved.
As the CEO of Nestlé, I believe it is my role to ensure that addressing climate change is a top priority across our company, in every market, function, and department. I look forward to turning our ideas into action. Together, we can make a difference.
Together, we can change tomorrow, today.
When there's a will, there's a way.
We can all change climate change.
What are you going to do?